Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Hold the Mic. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead. That's Ian Sherman. Brother, how are you doing?
What up, doe man? I am fresh off these legs. They hurting from walking. All right, holding up this damn country. What is going on? How you feeling?
Somebody's got to hold this bitch up.
Somebody, man. These shoulders are tired. Okay, that's what we're at right now. We've been working so hard. My wife put me in the closet. That's what's happening. All right, holding mic live, hiding in the closet, doing this show.
You didn't tell me about this in the green room.
He said, "Get your ass in the closet." That's what it is. How's everybody doing,
funny.
man? Happy Wednesday. Feels like a Friday. Man. Happy Wednesday.
Yep. And before we get moving, just want to say happy Juneteenth to everybody tomorrow. I know we'll be celebrating. I know you will be. So let's have a little let's have a little positive. Let's have a little positive reinforcement tomorrow. That's what I want to see.
What up, Patrick? Yeah, man. May you all have a good barbecue. You know, I hope the real ones show up. Let's just say that.
There you go. So, and may everybody else get raisins in their potato salad.
Only my enemies. Only my enemies. I wish that. This is delicious potato salad. Is it?
Is it really?
Enjoy, Brittany.
Yeah. Is this like a plum or what is this? Oh, it's God. Different.
Becca brought that. We all know what happened.
Yeah, she's not invited next year. So speaking of positive things, we have to talk about the No Kings protest.
Yes, man.
Arguably one of the largest nationwide protests ever.
100%.
Which to me, I hope you don't mind me saying, this just kind of reiterates what not just me, both of us have been saying, that there's no way in fucking hell that this election was won by Trump.
It's like, there's no way. There's just no way.
Like, I've seen enough. That this past weekend was enough for me.
Yeah.
You know, once again, I'm seeing all these Americans come out, you know, a lot of them waving the American flag this weekend and saying,
you look good with the American flag. You look good.
I did look good with that. It felt good. It felt good just having it. And, but seeing everybody else out there, seeing the response from not just my people here in Tucson, but nationwide. It was nationwide. People showed up, and if you haven't seen the videos, go see the video. The people have done the compilation videos. Thank you. Those are awesome. It just really kind of reinvigorated me to keep doing what we're doing. And also it just reminded me of the Kamala rallies. You know, they always seemed full positive, except for the paid protesters. You know, she was filling, you know, hangars and freaking 20,000 seat stadiums. Like, you know, Trump wasn't doing that this second time around.
No.
And that's
Do you remember all the people leaving his protest? Like literally in droves, like just people are like, we heard this dance. We heard this all before.
And now fast forward to the parade, which was supposed to celebrate the army.
Bro.
But really, it was meant to celebrate Trump and his birthday, which you could tell by all their posts, because they weren't saying, "Oh, yay, Army 250 anniversary." They were saying, "Happy birthday, Trump," and that's what you do with a dictator.
There's three takeaways I got from that. Okay, and
nobody gave a shit.
Bravo to you. That's three. It's like Dylan. Who's the top five? Dylan. No one gave a shit. That's really what we're seeing. One was the crowd track that was added to that was aired on the Fox News broadcast. And here's the thing, PBS played the actual track of here's what live sounds like, and there was like 5 people who were like, "Oh, yeah," and just nothing. Right? You got very low energy.
Yeah.
Much like this president, you know, he's not really.
It's funny how being close to 80 does that, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm 40 and I feel low energy, so being 80,
a lot of miles on these tires. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of miles. So it's interesting because he came out and I'm gonna ask everybody, go back and listen. Just listen, the audio. Listen to the crowd track and how it fades out. I've never been to any event. And heard the moment someone starts speaking, everybody, except for Beyonce, where the song is, everybody go, You know what I'm saying? And you already know the in the stadium, you better show up and shut up. So the thing that I found so interesting about Trump's was that the moment he started speaking, it's like everything faded out, and it felt like a fade. And me working audio, I was like, "Ooh, no!" And I could see why PBS is losing their funding, because they were like, "Here's the real track." You know what I mean? Here's real audio. So they definitely trolled him. So that was one. Two, I have to say it, man. That tank going down. Like nobody thought that was like really like a straight up from like a Tiny Toons cartoon. Like it just and everybody's just sitting there.
The best part was this, bro. One of the MAGA clowns came on because I posted the video like everybody.
Yeah.
And one of the MAGA people came, shows you don't know what you're talking about. They're supposed to make that noise. I said, I know, dipshit. I wasn't saying that they weren't supposed to make the noise. I was saying that you aren't supposed to hear the fucking noise because the crowd is supposed to be cheering.
Hype, baby, hype. Low energy. Oh, I get
you
more. You
should not hear those squeaks so distinctly.
I mean? I get more energy from a badminton game at a senior citizens home. Like, I'm just telling you right now.
Water polo.
I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Water polo. I see these grandmas getting hype, baby. So, and then the third one that I thought was so interesting was Trump's reaction, because he is pissed that the military was smiling and waving to people.
Yeah.
He wanted the vibe to be ominous. He wanted it to be very 1984. He wanted to be this force that was going down.
Look like North Korea.
Like North Korea. And that's so interesting that he's like, you got the vibe all wrong. And it's like, bro, these are American troops waving at Americans. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
What did you want? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
so it's not about celebrating them.
So it's not about celebrating them. So they always tell on themselves. And what I love, and maybe I'll add 4.
I was about to say, I think we're up to like 4 or 5 now, but you know.
No. That was 3. My math is mathing. Okay, this isn't the 2024 election. Okay, my math is mathing. But this is what I was going to ask you: is this count? Was that a silent protest from the men and women serving?
You know, at first I didn't think so. Honestly, I was like, in the Air Force, I know Army and Marines probably march more than we do, you know, once you're in active duty, you know, but Air Force, man, like the most we march is really in boot camp and tech school. We march a shit ton in tech school, but once you get out of tech school, man, like, if you're marching, it's probably because your whole damn squadron got in trouble or something. You're all in your dress blues marching. That's not a good thing. So like that was my initial reaction, but the more we watched, and the more my wife pointed some things out, who, by the way, my wife did 22 years and she was also honor guard. So she actually knows what she's talking about. Yep. I was not honor guard. Yeah. And she just pointed out some things. She's like, they're not dressed from right to left, front to back in height. Their heights were all like scattered, and they're not supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
You're supposed to dress like the short, you go shortest to tallest. I was always all the way in the back. So, and it's supposed to go, don't quote me guys, been forever, but I think the shortest goes on the outside. And then from there, it's, you know, shortest and then the next tallest and then the next tallest. So you're supposed to see, you're supposed to see like a nice, clean, gradual increase in everybody's height. It's supposed to look clean. And what you saw there was not clean. And you also saw a lot of this.
Yes.
Now, when you're marching, it should be like this. Because you're all supposed to be in step, same foot, bop, 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 bop. You saw a lot of this. And that to me said nobody gave a shit. So whether it was a protest or not, or what, they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm going to go with silent protest because you saw some of the people, the look on their face.
Look, there's no way all those people were Trump supporters. There's no way all those troops were Trump
And the fact that they typecast, they were like, we need to have the most fit, blah, 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 this, then the third. Like, you know, they had all these rules and regulations about what they wanted. So that was really quite telling. I'm just going to say it. The optics of it all.
DeAnna said the same thing. She said, my husband is an Army vet. It was purposely sloppy and low energy. These guys may have to march, but typically it's more polished. It wasn't right, and glaringly a silent protest. Yeah. And that seems to be the consensus. Like most people that are vets or have vets that go to those kind of things and they've seen the marching before, they're like, that's worse than I've seen.
Yeah.
So I mean, my opinion, there was probably a silent protest that was done among the men.
Yeah.
But do we have any evidence of that? Can I prove it? No.
It's not for you to prove. It's just the optics are there.
It's just my opinion. It's what it looked like.
Put it this way: it made the main dude, Petey Hegseth, look sloppy and look like he doesn't have control over his troops.
Well, yeah. And by the way, if you didn't see his testimony before Congress today, it was fucking epic. He is such a failure. It is insane.
Yeah.
And by the way, please go check out my latest video because I do a compilation of Pete Hegseth saying that, that couldn't happen and you're just trying to smear Donald Trump. Go back to 2022 and it's talking about how he literally asked them to do that. So
wild.
This shit's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
the way things are going right now, man. I mean, it's evident. We knew this was going to happen.
And what do you focus on? Do you focus on Israel and Iran? Do you focus on what we got going on at home? What do you focus on?
I mean, I'm here. So I got to focus on what's in front of me. First and foremost, I got to focus on what's here. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go back to focus on what we were supposed to be talking about to begin with, which was the No Kings anti-Trump protest that erupted across the nation this past Saturday. And I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to have the time to go out and participate in ours here in Tucson. And I was so happy to see so many people out there. So many good signs. I took a lot of video the last protest we did because I wanted the footage. And this time I ended up really just being more present there, kind of talking to some folks, and I went with my brother-in-law, so we were talking a lot. So I was just really kind of more present. Our mayor, Regina Romero, she was there. She did a really good speech, even though the mic was kind of cutting in and out, I could still hear her. And everybody's pissed off, man. Like everybody's realizing that I'm not going to say we because I didn't vote for them, but they were sold a bad bill of goods. Yeah. This dude isn't going to deliver on anything he said. Like I keep pointing out, you keep talking about this big, beautiful bill. He's making the tax cuts for billionaires permanent. All these little sprinkles of
for who?
For the billionaires.
For how long?
Those forever.
In perpetuity. Okay, forever.
Forever. Now, for those of you saying, "Oh, but he cut taxes on tips." Yeah, till 2028.
28.
Oh, he cut taxes on Social Security. Yeah, till 2028. And then it's going to expire. By the way, that's right about the time he's going to be leaving office. And the Republicans are going to use it to campaign on. And people are going to fucking fall for it again because you're all fucking stupid.
And when are some of the other perks going to actually just flip on people? Their taxes, everything, the child credits, all that. It ends 2028.
Yeah, all the current. Yeah.
It all ends there.
Basically, all the good shit that he gave to the middle class is going to expire in 48 months, roughly.
Yep.
And everything that he gave to the billionaires has no expiration date now.
What did they say in Sandlot? Forever.
That's still one of my favorite movies.
So good. But yeah,
by the way, a dude with the red curly hair, he was out with the banana baseball team the other day. You know those guys?
Yeah.
He went out and did like a little segment with them. It was freaking hilarious. I love that guy. I can't remember his name, but I love him. Yeah, man. The protests, I think, were very, very loud.
Yeah.
I love the clip of Donald Trump. I think he was at an award show and they asked him like, well, how do you feel about all the protests they have planned in like the cities? And he's like, they don't have any protests planned in any cities. It's like, okay.
Someone's lying. Either
a few moments later,
or someone's lying to him. You know what I'm saying? Someone is definitely in his ear.
No.
Stephen Miller's just like, boss, I I have a list of things for you. No protest, no protest. Okay, I'm gonna go back to licking your boots now.
I was about to say,
it's like
back down, boy.
Like seriously,
No,
someone's lying
it's
to him.
just
He seems like he's really in the dark.
well, but that's what he's created. Like, go back to Pete Hegseth today in front of Congress. He's very evidently a yes man. He's not going to say anything up there that is going to piss Donald Trump off.
That's right.
That was evident. That's why he wouldn't answer questions that would potentially piss Donald Trump off. That was literally, that was the whole fucking thing. I can save you the hours of watching it. He is not going to answer anything that is going to make Donald Trump look bad or piss him off to jeopardize his job and whatever dirt they have on him.
He's gonna be the first one tossed out, man. I'm telling you right now.
I'm surprised he hasn't been yet.
Well, no, because he's a yes man. He's licking that boot.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how big of a security, breach he is.
I swear.
As long as you're.
So how did you feel about? Because I don't want to digress too much. The no Kings, because it was beautiful visually to see that many people.
The other thing was, we went to the protest. So the protest out on the street was supposed to go from like 8 to 11 o'clock. We got out there like right at 8, and we ended up, because it started getting hot, and we were like, we were going to go to a later protest. So we went home for like a couple hours, and then we ended up coming back, and they did like a motor march, like with cars. Yep. Dude, we shut down like 14 fucking miles. Like when we got there, it was so hard for us just to get in because what we were doing is shutting down one lane of traffic around a planned route of Tucson. Okay. And they thought that they were going to be cruising, and they was like, well, just keep it 5 below the speed limit, which on most streets I think is like 35, 40.
Yeah.
Dude, we couldn't even move. We literally, it was like sitting in California traffic.
405.
Nobody could move because so many people were trying to get in. So it turned into like 2 lanes. And what happened was the inside lane was pretty much stopped. And then people would go on the outside lane and kind of cruise and do that. So it ended up working out. Nobody was really blocking traffic. Okay. And a shout out to Tucson PD. They were out there in full force. And they, as far as I know, we didn't have any crazy issues.
So let me ask you this question.
I didn't see anything crazy.
How many black people were at the protest?
I saw several. I saw one big black dude on a fucking Harley came in with a big American flag vest on, man. And I was like, I remember I looked over at my brother-in-law and I was like, is he a friendly? And then he got out and got the protest sign out, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then we saw another biker dude.
I bet you he has a dog the same size as Eno. I bet you he does.
Probably. And then another dude on a another dude on a bike walked up, and I literally, this is, don't judge a book by its cover. I looked over at him. I was like, oh man, I hope that's not a Trump guy coming to fuck with us. Because, white dude, big old fucking beard, typical biker look. Gets off his bike. He has the same bike my dad had, a Harley Classic Flight 2. It's got these hard side saddlebags. They're hard cased. Opens it up, and I see him take this balloon out. Little balloon about this big, and it's a Donald Trump balloon. This motherfucker blew that balloon up and walked around it like this in his hand for like 3 hours, and finally we ended up walking by him, and I was like, dude, I love the balloon. He's like, what's sad is, he goes, I bought this bitch in 2016 because of that dumb motherfucker. He's like, and it's still relevant. And I was like, wow. You've had that since 2016? He's like, yep. He goes, I bring it out every time. And it was just like those kind of experiences. I was so glad I put my phone away to just kind of be there and I had a red hat on. I had my red Arizona hat on. So anybody walking down the street behind us, because I was right on the road. So I was right on the road. So everybody walking behind us, all they saw was red hat, American flag over my shoulder, and big
6'4" white dude.
Big fucking 6'4" white dude, right? Who also happens to look like a skinhead. So so this dude comes up to me, literally taps me on my shoulder. He's like, I'm sorry. And I turn around, he's like, okay, cool. He's like, I saw the flag and the red hat. He's like, I was about to ask you what you're doing out here. He's like, I said no. He's like, bear down, man. I was like, it's Arizona. Like, that's our colors.
Yeah,
And I said, you know what, man? I was like, I'm not just taking the flag back. I was like, I'm taking the red fucking hats back too.
That's right.
U of A has red hats.
You can keep that red hat shit. I'm not.
And the funny thing was, so my brother-in-law started kind of making fun of me, right? And I pulled the hat off. Said like all these hats, they're thick and they don't breathe when it's 105 out. But the Nike U of A hats I have, they're made out of like this weird breathable fabric, and it's just, if you're going to be outside in a hat, it's like that's the perfect fabric to have. I was like, that's really why I chose it. It had nothing to do with the fucking color.
I love that.
No,
as you're looking at grown men, as you're looking at some folks, you're like, okay, I can't judge. Here you are getting tapped on the shoulder. Like, wait a minute, whoa. No, friendly.
Yep,
friendly.
Same exact thing.
We all in this. It's so good.
That goes to your question, man. There were so many people out there that you would never have guessed looking at them.
Right.
If they weren't holding a sign saying, fuck this dude, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made me feel good, was because, you're walking around and you really are kind of like, are all these people really with this guy? So when you see everybody take time out of their Saturday in 105-degree weather.
That's major.
And by the way, like I said, the protest outside was supposed to stop at 11 because from like 11 to 4, it's crazy outside, crazy hot. When we got there at 2, we got back there at like 3 o'clock for the motor parade. People were still on the fucking side of the roads, still holding signs, and people that we had seen at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning when we were out walking, they're still out there. And it's like, you guys have been out here in this heat, people walking by the way, to the people walking around handing out water, sunscreen and stuff, you guys make protests so much better.
You are the heroes of these events. Yeah.
Thank you for doing what you do. Like I saw them hand out so much water, and they would always say, free water, no ice. It was so fucking awesome. They had them set up, and they had them set up like probably every quarter of a mile you'd see one. That's amazing. Somebody had their truck pulled up and have a cooler and it had ice or had water and shit. Yeah. So, it's just, those people make it so much better, because it's like
real heroes of these things.
It's the community. It's the community we keep talking about building. It's like we're seeing it.
I'm very thankful that you, A, were there, and B, that you put down the phone, because you were active in the community. And the thing that gets me is that talking with Dave and seeing what ETA, Election Truth Alliance, is doing, I really am questioning what the data is in the context of who was the highest grossing demographic that was actually voting for this guy. Because is it really that moment, that idea of like, well, the Latins voted for this, Latin men voted for this? Did they? Like, I really am in a place where I'm questioning it now. And some of it, I'm like, okay, some demographics, definitely voted for him. But at the same time, I'm like, are these numbers that legit, right? So if I'm going to have that context, I'm like, okay, but we do see how a demographic of young men flocked to this dude. And
unfortunately,
you know what I mean? And it's like, but still, let's see what the data really does start revealing itself within the next year or so. Yeah. And then there's this part where I'm like, because there is this commitment where it's like, Black folks are like, look, we're at brunch. This is your lesson to learn. We're not participating. I know that you said you saw a number of people, your brother.
Oh, that's why you were asking. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, there were some.
That was the reason why I asked a Black, and the reason why I also asked is you could see how peaceful these protests were. And I don't mean in the context that because Black is there, it's going to get rowdy. No, I mean that in the case of like, if it bleeds, it's news. People will read, right?
They were some of the most patriotic ones out there.
For the most part.
I think every one of them, they either had a flag, holding a flag, or they had something on them that was American flag.
I think the American flag means so much more to Black people, and I'm gonna die on this. I think the American flag has so much more weight to a Black American because what we've had to sacrifice to get just here. Just to this point. You know what I mean? And I really think about, and I'm not talking about the one who just got here. I'm talking to one that, like myself, who has a slave certificate to see that my great-great-grandfather was, sold. Here's his name. Here's the document. From that to the point of the Tuskegee Airmen, to see the leaps and bounds from the slave, the sharecropper, the farmer, the merchant, to the soldier, and to see that be painted the way it was, and to get to where we are today. I think there is a moment where we really do hold so dearly what the dream that this kid become is, and what we fight for. And I think those inches that we've really fought through the century have really more weight to it for us. But there's a part of this where there is something where it's like, great, go protest, go get out there, because I really do feel, and there was a movement. And the reason why I asked that is because there's so many people. And again, I ask about how many black people were there because there's this movement online where people were like, why, where are the black people? Why aren't they showing up? And then all these other minorities.
They've been showing up.
Look, we asked everybody
to show up for the election.
You know what I mean? We asked everybody for the election to show up, and we saw how that turned out. But that's where I question a lot of this right now with the data. So I'm in this place where I'm questioning a lot of things, but at the same time, I love to see that the people are now doing the work and being out there. You've been doing the work. You've been doing the work. I'm not questioning you.
Even me, man. I mean, I wasn't going to a crap ton of protests, and we've talked about it offline. And I've talked about it before, and it's nothing new for our listeners. You know, I don't have a colon. So on top of a couple back surgeries, I don't have a colon. So I don't like being out in crowds and there not being a bathroom within a certain distance.
Right.
And in these parks, the parks are beautiful. The bathrooms are disgusting. So it's like, and unfortunately, I'm just one of those, man. So there's just things that I have to accommodate or take into account that sometimes makes going and sitting to wait, 8 hours to see a politician a little difficult.
Right.
And so that's kind of where my issue stemmed, just physically. But I knew after he got elected this time, I knew that I had to get out there and be on the street. The last time I'd been to a protest was at the BLM protest that we were attacked at.
Yeah.
In Sierra Vista. So that was the last protest I'd actually been to, and I was there to do security because they had threatened a 19-year-old girl that had set up the protest or the march.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of us veterans got together and said, "Okay, you guys want to threaten her? She's got protection."
You're there. Yeah. We'll see you there.
And they counter protested, and one of the dummies got out of the car and came and started, physically assaulting a couple of us with AR-15s and bear spray, and she got bear sprayed. So,
yeah.
I told the attorneys that tried suing the guy with bear sprayed her. I was like, "You guys realize he had an AR-15 on, literally around his neck?" I go, "If he wanted to shoot her, he could have."
Right.
I go, "She came and put her hands on him." I go,
"She found what she was looking for."
I go, "Exactly." I go, "He chose to bear spray her."
Right.
I go, "That was a choice." I was and it was the right one. I go, "And it was the right one, and you guys are trying to..."
His body, his choice, and his choice was...
I literally told him, I go, "There was 4 of us. Yeah. I had my Glock. They all had their AR-15s.
Yeah.
And we were all, literally watching this happen. If we wanted to shoot her, we could have.
Right.
But we handled it, because we had all talked about it before.
You assessed the threat for what it actually...
We assessed the threat for what it was. There was no gun.
You did more than police can do.
Well, the police were there, and I will give them credit for this. They didn't arrest anybody on either side at the time. But they did end up bringing a lawsuit against the guy, which ended up being an issue for him personally, unfortunately, anxiety-wise and whatnot. But the good news was after they took my deposition, at the end, I literally, I answered all their questions very straightforward, professionally, blah, blah, blah. And at the very end, they asked if there was anything I wanted to add. And I said, "Actually, there is." And I told him that exactly. I said, "I just want you to know that man had a 9mm on his leg. He had an AR-15 around his neck." I go, "And he had bear spray." I go, "And out of those 3 choices, he chose the bear spray."
Yeah.
I go, "So I hope you guys take that into account." I go, "Because we needed security out there, and he provided security."
Right. Right.
Yeah. They dropped it 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah. But the anxiety of the stress of that. But it's also...
He literally moved. He ended up moving.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He literally, before he moved, he texted me and he's like, "Hey man, I just want to know you're one of the cooler people we met here, blah, blah, blah." When I saw that, man, I was really kind of depressed because it's to me, I'm like, we're losing a good dude from our community. You know, like this is a guy that actually gave a shit about other people.
Yeah.
And that, so I, you know, it was a loss from that standpoint, but I think he moved on to better things. I think he's happier. And so that's a good thing.
That's all we can ask for.
Yep.
DeAnna, appreciate you and definitely hope all is well. No. All good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Send love to you.
And thanks, Timothy, Dewan, and Jacob too. Hey man, you said you're volunteer of the year. What do you what do you volunteer of the year for, buddy? Do you know?
Let's see what Jacob's up to. So yeah, Ryan, I find it a really interesting time though. Just for now, because I feel like the people's voices are resonating, and not even just here. I think across the globe, you know.
Yeah.
And this is not, you know, some cheap protest that is screaming for attention from the real cause.
It was 2,100 cities.
See, and the damage so minute,
yeah.
so small, and what they tried to do in L.A. clearly was escalation by Trump, by this administration.
They had zero orders to de-escalate in Los Angeles. And by the way, that has cost us to date at least $134 million. That operation.
Add that with this little parade.
Yeah, what was it, 45 million or something?
And
probably
have
more.
We even looked at what damage has been caused to the roads and everything?
No, I haven't heard anything about that. Should have seen the concrete coming up behind it. Oh man.
Oh, it's so
I shouldn't
good.
laugh because that's tax dollars, but
hey, you know what? I am gonna laugh. That shit is a funny ass clip, man. It was worth the money.
It was a funny clip. It was a funny clip. And so many people like, you added that sound. I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, that was the actual sound.
No sound effects necessary. So
I was like, you're getting sound effects and AI from the Pentagon and the White House.
Oh yeah. Peggy, be careful in Michigan. I heard it's a severe storm, so you be careful.
Yeah,
out there.
I saw something about that. Like, pretty crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So that's a wild time, but I'm really glad. I'm really glad that you got to be a part of the community and build
and see the police responses too. You know, I was really interested to see if our police department would escalate anything, and they really didn't. Like we saw one woman. She was walking in the bike lane, right? So you know, we have like bike paths, and that's kind of where we were walking on the sidewalk bike path. That's where everybody was protesting, and then right off the curb is a bike path, and then the lanes. And she's walking down the bike path, and you see 3 cop cars just lined up. 1, 2, 3. Now, me and my brother-in-law, the cop cars are coming up from behind us. So we don't see the cop cars at first. We're seeing the woman walking in the bike path. And all we see is her all of a sudden flip the bird off to whoever's driving up and say, "Fuck you, piggies." And the one pulls up to roll the window down to basically say, "Hey, why don't you, just get out of the bike lane, get on the sidewalk, for your safety." And she's like, "Fuck you, no." And she just keeps walking. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But honestly, 95% of the people out there were literally cheering for them when they would drive by. Everybody was saying, "Hey," and they were smiling and waving. Like, it really wasn't, I didn't feel this.
We weren't at NWA status.
It didn't feel like what I was seeing in LA. I'll say that. Like,
well, yeah. I was gonna say that wasn't really so much the police, but yes, that was being forced. That was definitely being forced.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, damn, are they gonna? There's so many people out here. Are they gonna fuck with us? But I mean, the mayor was there speaking.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna start gassing us while the mayor's 5 feet away?
That's kind of what they did in LA.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, that's true. But luckily they didn't hear.
DHS,
so again,
man.
shout out to all the law enforcement out there that kept it cool too, and were able to keep it cool even in the face of a little jeering from a few of them.
Hey man, all we gotta say is she was the big bad wolf. Talk about fuck you, piggies.
And she was tiny too, bro. The funny thing was she was one of the ones that I just seen passing out water and sunscreen like 25 minutes before.
Hey, do you need anything, guys? Refreshments? Some
fuck you, piggy.
Hey, fuck you, pigs. Can you believe these guys?
It was funny. The second cop, I remember they were driving by, so she had passed us and she was saying the same thing to them basically. And I see the guy, they look at each other and they just start cracking up.
It's always the little one.
What are you gonna say, right?
It's like when you see a Chihuahua, that's gonna be the aggressor, right? You know what I mean? pit bull goes by, doesn't care for you at all. The Chihuahua, you're like,
man.
Might
yeah,
get
but no, it went well. I was really happy to see the turnout.
Good.
I was really happy to support the Glue Factory, which is our union print shop here. Nice. They were out there selling shirts. I bought a shirt and a couple signs, and so I always try to support them when I can. But
you know, for president, you're gonna need to be leaning on them.
And by the way, thank you for bringing that up. So I have my next campaign promise that I'm gonna make right here on Hold the Mic, and that is...
Are we breaking news? Are we breaking news?
I don't know if I've posted it yet, but I think it's the first time I've said it.
All right.
And that is, if you've watched the news today, you may have noticed that Donald Trump says he paid to install 2 very large flag poles outside of the White House, and they have these massive American flags on them that, you know, cover half the damn White House now. So on the first day that I'm in office, I'll have those removed, just so you know. So, yeah, they won't be there long. So enjoy them while they're there, folks, because when I'm elected, I'll be taking those out. And I'm also going to start putting the Rose Garden back together.
Yeah.
Because fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
How about that? Campaign promises, my friend.
Does it make a good bumper sticker? Fuck that bitch. Is that the bumper sticker?
With the Rose Garden behind it?
Is that going
to be? In case you haven't noticed, my wife, the first lady, is probably going to be the sane one in this whole partnership. In all seriousness, though, when I think I said it, and I'm like, I'm going to remove him, and you want to know why I'm going to remove him? Because I don't want one fucking reminder of this debacle of a presidency.
The stain. This is a stain on our
exactly.
On our
like to me, like, and, I paid to put him there. Good. I'm going to take him down.
You're going to pay to remove it.
I'll pay to take him down. I'm going to pay for it myself.
You pay
out of my presidential salary
to remove. Oh my god, my favorite. Yeah, this.
And I'm going to take a presidential salary, by the way, because I'm broke.
You're gonna need a couple dollars. All right, we're gonna need a couple dollars.
I'm gonna need that $400,000.
What's that? What's that White House stipend? All right, I'm gonna need that too. Let's go.
I'm telling you. But I'll be at least I'll be transparent with it.
Hey.
But no, like, again, all joking aside, I really don't like the way it looks. I think it was a PR stunt, and you know,
it screams tiny dick energy. All
that's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm gonna repaint Air Force One back to the colors we have now, because he's changed them to whatever fucking colors he did, and I think it looks like shit.
Yeah.
Like, when I said that day one, I'm going to fucking undo everything this man has done, I mean everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plain colors, Rose Garden, taking the flagpoles down, lunch for kids, protecting women's rights, getting the ERA finally fucking done.
Yeah.
So many things. I am going to do it so fast it'll make your head spin.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to leave Democrats going. It's going to leave Democrats going, damn, we could have done this the whole fucking time?
Oh, that pendulum swings hard to the left.
Oh,
that's
I'm going to hit that fucking pendulum with a bat.
Yeah.
To swing it back the other way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's going to be hard, man. I mean, gravity's already doing it. Gravity's taking that old ass, man out, and also going to be swinging that bad boy.
Amy said, keep the poles and put pride flags up. That would be an epic troll, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm just tired of this guy.
Yeah.
Again, the Supreme Court today ruled in favor of Tennessee stopping gender affirming care for
trans youth.
Yep. Now, the reason that pisses me off, 2 things. One, nobody's going to give a shit because it's being buried in the news of Israel and Iran.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that disrespectfully to disregard Israel and Iran in any way. I'm just staying true to what I keep saying. We have a lot of shit here that we need to focus on that is happening, that they're sliding in under the rug. And to me, this is one of them. Because now the Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision has ruled that Tennessee can do this, which now every red state tonight, right now, they're sitting around drinking Bud Light and whatever else they like, and they're coming up with the wording on how their state is going to do the exact same thing. And a matter of fact, they're not even coming up with the wording. They just called Tennessee up and said, hey, can you send us over the bill so we can just fucking copy and paste it?
No one even reads it. None of them read it.
There you go. They're not even going to read it before they fucking vote on it anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
But that's what's happening today.
Yeah.
Trans youth across the country got fucked today. And too many people didn't even notice because of all the other crap that the Trump administration is throwing up in the air. And I just want to say, I really wish some of you would go out and make some transgender friends, because I realized 4 or 5 years ago that I was pretty ignorant when it came to the community and our fellow transgender Americans.
Yeah.
And so I purposely went out and made friends and asked questions. And what I found is that I haven't run into one transgender person that had a problem answering questions, you know, as long as you ask them in good faith, respectful way.
Right.
Because they understand that people need to understand them. They need to have somewhat of an idea of what it's like living in their body. And the biggest question I had for her name's Plastic Martyr online. Some of you probably follow her.
I
asked her the question.
Yeah.
I said, when did you know? That to me is the biggest thing I wanted to know. When did you know? Like, were you 20? And then, you know, you just kind of realized it. Like some people say they didn't realize they were gay till they were in their 20s. Like, is that how it works? I had no idea. And she sent me photos of herself, and she's posted them online.
Yeah.
But she sent me the photos in the DM, and she's like, I knew here. And she couldn't have been but 8 or 10.
That's
and
so
it's
wild.
like this was where I already had started feeling like I wasn't who I was. And that interaction, that message with her is what began to shape my view now of where we need to be. Yeah. Because I realize now that what you are doing is you are actually taking healthcare away from an American,
which we
because
knew
because you don't agree with what it is or what it's confirming,
right?
Or affirming, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you've also this what the Supreme Court has just done. They've taken that decision now also out of the parents' hands. Now the parents can't even make that decision if they say, you know what, I know my 14-year-old is transgender, and instead of her committing suicide or him committing suicide because, you know, they can't be who they want to be or are, I would rather them be able to get health care. And for those of you saying it's a mental illness, okay, it's a mental illness. It's called gender dysphoria. Then my question to you becomes, I'm bipolar. Now, if you didn't allow me to go get treatment, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be stable. I wouldn't be a good father, good husband, a good person. I would be unstable.
Right.
It's the same thing with this. Like you're not helping somebody that's saying, I need help, simply because you don't get it. And the fact that most of you consider yourselves to be Christians or Catholics or whatever, religious, that you believe in God while you're simultaneously hating on one of God's creations. Like, let's not forget that God created that person that stands before you. So who are you to judge them?
And I love that you brought that up. And what we're talking about here is like 1.4 to like 3.3% of this population.
Not even.
Like that's we're talking about from like 13 to 17 range, right? It's very little, very little. And so when you realize that this administration is just about punching down, it's like, what do you think you're really doing here? Like, you know what I mean? And it's and all it is reinforcing the coalition, this build of demographic that is finding its bonds, right? Yes. Like we are really. By all means, we're welcoming you. Come on in. because we are going to be what needs to be this new movement that removes this stain, as you talk about, on day one. And it's really tragic to see this and to have to explain it.
Yep. And I've seen two transgender military personnel that are being kicked out.
Yeah.
Or forced to retire. And they've put their story out. And I'm just fucking tired of it, man.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has given me a good reason that a transgender person shouldn't be able to serve their country.
Well, we go to war with Iran. They're going to be looking for any and everybody there. So Mega better sign up. Every single one of them.
Yeah, every single one of them. It's just like they think there's already a massive shortage of construction workers, and now they're kicking out the construction workers they do have, saying we'll hire Americans. It's like, where? From where?
You guys want to cosplay? Here's your time. Show up. That's a reality. This is the time. And I love that Trump just came out. He just came out with the retracting again taco, where he's saying that farmers need their immigrants and hospitals need their immigrants, and that they're gonna try to nudge some things and move some things around and shift some things, and you're sitting here and you're like,
that's what we've always told you.
I believe every single union that was, and I don't mean union as in like union busters or anything, but every single one of these billionaires and whoever's money you're messing with, they gave you a call and they let you know that you are messing up their business. Because when you start looking at the numbers of what crops are now rotting in the fields because it's not being done, when you see ice, and I got to give it to Gavin. Gavin's meeting the moment here. He is on top of this. And when he's like, I guess it's not good policy when you're chasing down farmers in the fields and tackling them and taking them away with ice, and also taking out women and children in the streets. Like, not a good policy there. So good job. But Trump is literally trying to.
And the optics are really bad.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so
like, and they're trying to spin him as positive, and it's like,
there's not.
No.
Like Christy Nome back in a jail cell, it looks like a Sarah McLachlan commercial with dogs. It's not hitting the way you think it's.
What do you think? What do you think she had to go to the hospital for?
Probably one of her implants popped.
I thought she gotten heat stroke from all the weave she had on her head.
It's caked on makeup, man. It's a caked on makeup. And I don't know, man. I don't know how fake this woman is at one point. You know what I mean? Like all the filler.
Dude, you see pictures of her from like
before and
10
after?
years ago. Totally different. Like the only way I could tell it was her actual like eyeballs. Like that looks the same. But outside of that,
she's beautiful. There is a I don't know if it's a Trump.
She wasn't.
I don't know if it's a Trump effect or if it's a mega effect. I don't know what it is.
I think it's body. The funny thing is, you're talking about transgender people. Go look at her. These people have the same thing. It's just manifested differently.
This is gender affecting care, though.
Oh yeah.
This is all the hair plugs.
Joey Manorino, by the way, you gluing that toupee on your fucking head every 30 days? That's gender affirming care, dude.
Is my man living rent free in your head right now?
He is a little bit. He's been really stupid lately.
When I tell you that, yes, that's gender affirming. I have conservative friends who got nose jobs, and I'm like, care. You can't tell me it's so you can breathe better. No.
Yeah, I did it for my sinuses.
Whatever you need to tell yourself. Care.
Yeah.
That's care. That's care. That's
luckily I like there's some people like at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what you do with your body. It's your body. But like there's some people it's like, you needed a nose job. Like you look better. Yeah. And that's what I think those procedures were created for people that had like the really crazy bridges that, and all that kind of stuff.
To each his own. I find all noses beautiful. I'm just saying, whatever you want.
Like Michael Jackson should have stopped 4 noses ago. You know what I'm saying?
And he should have stopped. 84 was perfect. It was perfect.
Even 92. Damn. Even 92.
He died looking like Liza Minnelli. I'm just saying. There's something off about that. That's all. Back
Stop
to
fucking with your faces, ladies. You look perfect the way you are. Aging is okay. Look at Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. Amazing. She's beautiful.
She still looks good.
Yeah. Look at Halle Berry.
Black don't crack.
60 looks really different these days.
I'm telling you, man.
We grew up with the Golden Girls. They were 60.
I saw that the other day. Somebody making the comparisons. I was like, damn, they were that young? You're like, that's what 45 looked like back then?
That's what 45 looked like. Oh my God. Damn.
And then you hear the interviews of them talking about how they were like the has-beens of Hollywood. I'm like, they were 45.
Yeah. Well, you don't really see Jennifer Aniston right now. So you know what? They should do a Golden Girls remake, and they should have all those kind of girls do it.
The girls from Friends.
Do it. Well,
you heard it here first. It was Ian's idea.
Yeah, I bet we better get residuals here and hold the mic.
Exactly.
But yes. So, anyways, I know we've all completely digressed.
I know we've gone all over the place today, but it's okay.
Yes, it's all right. It's the day before our picnic. We can do whatever we want.
What's up, Lakeesha? Love the Golden Girls.
Lakeisha's here. What up, Lakeesha? I see you, girl. So, real quick, shout out to Lakeesha. She brought me in to do Juneteenth podcast. It actually aired today at 6 o'clock. So I am clearly on the internet twice today within hours.
Nice.
That's a rarity. I know you want me to be on here more. So, but Lakeesha, dope individual. We went to high school with her. She's holding down Royal Oak, Metro Detroit area, and amazing, beautiful activist, mom.
They just renamed something after her family, didn't they?
That's right. She is the soil of Royal Oak.
Yeah.
When you think about
which I had no idea going to when we went to school.
She had no idea. She found out by doing the research. It's like that stuff is like it's always lost. You know what I mean? And so her and her father before he passed, there's a beautiful story. She tells it beautifully. And so her and her family did this podcast.
Well, come on the show.
I'm working on her. I'm trying to get her there.
Work harder. Lakeesha, come on the show.
They've got to do it.
Tell the story. Because it really is a great story, and I will definitely mimic what Ian's saying. It's been great to watch from afar what you've done, and the fact that the city has continues that they've honored your family. It's been great to see. So
so there's a
congratulations.
Posted right here. So Hammer Finch Wilkins.
There you go.
So Lakeesha's doing wonderful work in Metro Detroit and Royal Oak. And just a beautiful soul altogether.
Back home, amazing baby.
It's a great people all around. So if anybody, excuse me, you guys get a chance to check out
Jacob, Lakeesha. We got a bunch of high school friends here, man.
Yeah, man. We're making a high school reunion out of this. We got to do it. So, but Lakeesha, we would love to have you on. So we'll talk. We'll definitely talk.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so I just did a podcast with her where we broke down a lot of Juneteenth and what the meaning of it is when we found out about it, how this can help others in the community to learn more about our history. So it's a number of things. So
send it to me so I can share it on all my stuff.
We'll get it out there. So it came on live, and now they're distributing it as a
just send me the link. I'll share it on all my stuff. Anthony, did we see the Tucker Carlson Ted Cruz thing? Yeah, I'm not going to show the video because they keep dinging us for anytime we show a video. They get us like for copyright or something. But yeah, we definitely saw it. If you haven't, go watch it. Ted Cruz looks like a complete numbskull. And,
Ted Cruz looks exactly like Ted Cruz. He's a fucking idiot.
He's a fucking idiot.
He doesn't know anything. He doesn't. Nothing. He went to Harvard. He is a perfect example of failing upwards. And whoever his constituents are who keep putting him back in place, clearly he's getting money hand over fist. So it's like, I don't know what's going on here. You always think about when people abuse their animals. Like he left his dog during that snowstorm, went to Cancun. I really thought that was going to be the factor of where he was going to lose. Clearly something there, that base is really trying to hold on to him. All he's been doing is just keeping himself enriched, but it goes to show you. And I got to give it to Tucker for this, not to give him much credit. Just more so of he's doing the work that I expect every journalist to do. Be condescending and laugh in their fucking face and literally be like, you don't know how many people are where you're talking about attacking. Like you're green lighting this whole idea that you want to go to war with. You're spouting all this bullshit, but you don't know who's there. You don't know how many people are there. You don't know what the demographic is. And you're just green lighting, attacking them.
I did it with Enrique and you didn't like it.
No. I don't believe Tucker Carlson called him a fucking idiot on air.
I mean, he essentially did. He just didn't verbalize it.
And that's my point.
Well, you know me,
Yes. Show up with a bow tie and don't call him a fucking idiot live on air, and we'll talk.
Well, never gonna be in a bow tie.
Well, like I said, I don't give Tucker that much credibility. I just put it this way. Fuck Jake Tapper and selling his book. I don't give a fuck. Like, seriously, don't give a fuck. Do the news. Show up. Stop giving looks. Stop with your You know what I mean? Like, really, ask a follow-up question. You don't know? You don't know. You don't know how many people were there. Give them the answer. So that was so hard. You who wants to do X, Y, and Z, you don't know that, though? Like, they need to show up. I want to see that from people.
Yeah.
That's a reality.
Yep. And speaking of douchebags, can we talk about Senator Mike Lee for a second?
Uh-oh, what do you do?
Well, he basically made light of wow, my brain just farted. Sorry.
I was like,
the Minnesota assassinations, or assassination, I should say. Yeah, he went ahead and posted something ridiculous and tasteless per usual. Yeah. And then when there was, all the pushback, he didn't delete it for like 2 days. Yeah. Like, these people are just garbage. You know what I mean? Like, and here's the other thing. Why was everybody so fucking worried about what political party and who this dude voted for? He just walked into people's homes wearing a mask, dressed up as a cop, and fucking assassinated them. Yeah. Who gives a shit who they voted for at that particular moment?
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I'm really grossed out by the shamelessness, and I don't expect anything less than a horrible joke, a comment, a meme, whatever the trolling levels that they're in a rush to the bottom. They've been in a rush. Yeah. They elected a rapist as president. Okay, full stop.
Who?
There is who?
Who?
Who? A rapist. A rapist.
Oh, okay. and a felon.
34 count. 3-4. Bow bow.
Yeah.
3-4 count.
Oh, and an epic business fraud there. Yeah.
Trump phones, Trump water, Trump steaks, Trump what? You know what I mean?
And can I ask you this, Ian? What do you think would have happened if Hunter Biden came out and came up with a phone plan and everything that was branded after the presidency of his father?
Called the Sleepy Joes. Answer on the Sleepy Joes. Get your Sleepy Joes here. Get them. Ring, ring. Who is it? Sleepy Joe.
What would the right wing have said?
Oh, they're trying to impeach Hunter Biden, and you're like, you can't impeach him. He's not even in office. Idiot.
They would have drawn up impeachment paperwork for Joe Biden for allowing his son to profit off the presidency.
Yeah.
And any of you Trump supporters out there that say, no, we wouldn't have, you're a lying piece.
Yeah. You would have been calling Barisa. We have some business accounts in blah, blah. Okay. For what? Oh. For what? So here we are. So Mike Lee, I look forward to the day that either gravity does its thing and cholesterol, because you want to talk about one of the biggest parties in America. It's going to be the day that this man dies. And I promise you.
That won't be America. That's going to be the world, bro.
This is going to be the biggest celebration. And I'm going to watch all of you mega cry. And I have no sympathy for any of you. None. Because it's going to be the biggest party where you probably will hear that anthem. FTD.
Yep. Nipsey, baby.
FDT. And you're gonna have that. My dyslexic ass. FTT. You're gonna have that in full effect on repeat, and there'll be a party in the streets. And I promise you.
And mark my words, there will be parades in the streets.
Oh, there'll be a parade
in other countries.
There will be a parade. Oh yeah. Oh no, here.
Other countries. Here too. Yeah, of course. But other countries are going to be celebrating.
Full mass. Ain't nobody lowering shit.
Oh yeah, if it happens when I'm in the White House, I'm not lowering it. Can we put that bitch any higher, actually?
President Shead, we are supposed to lower. We ain't lowering shit. Keep it up high. Executive order. No flag is to be lowered in America.
No, I'd be like, you know what? If you want to lower it, lower it. But we're not going to be doing that at the White House.
Nah, man. No, it's gonna be one of those things, man. It just is what it is. So mark my words. Ain't nobody care about none of you anymore. No one cares about this whole little my friend across the aisle.
Everyone
That's
chanting
not the
for a florist. Oh my God, dude. I it's really hard to believe where we are. Like,
Yeah.
let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
We just watched, well, we didn't watch, but we've just experienced a political assassination.
Yeah.
By somebody who had a long list of politicians that he was going to go to next.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there was a third house that he had went to, and they weren't
at the first house after the
and they weren't home. Yep. Luckily, they weren't home.
But you know, here's two things that really blew me away. He got stopped in between the first and the second. The second is where he actually did kill, right? The first one was,
I think they caught him coming out of the one where he just killed him.
They didn't catch him anywhere. He got caught by a motion sensor in a field. Walking.
Oh, yeah.
Walking. Yeah. This man
but they saw him coming out because the one cop said, "Hey."
They saw him.
Yeah.
And he didn't answer. He had a mask, whatever that mask is, right?
Yeah, that was
like me on chemotherapy, like whatever that mask is. And it's like, what is going on right now? And he didn't say anything. He didn't. The cop was like, "Oh, okay, have a great day." It's like, who is this? Who is this cop?
Yeah.
Who is this cop? What is going on here? But my whole point is, all of this defense that we spend locally, militarizing our police, all this stuff, and it was like $120 little camera that's a sensor camera in a field picked him up. That's what alerted everybody to where his location was. That then they found him. Forget it. Put these low cameras in the corner streets.
Oh, and they were able to apprehend him without killing him too. It's funny how that happens.
A murderer.
An assassin. Stop saying murder. He fucking assassinated a politician.
Isn't that a domestic terrorist?
In my book.
Just like Luigi, right? Why is he not being treated the same?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is he not being treated the same? Guilty already.
I mean, dude shot 4 people, killed 2.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. And he went to a third house, and he had an even longer list.
Laura, that would make sense if it was a Breaking Bad mask. It would totally make sense.
Yeah, it kind of did look like that. But didn't it? But don't those have a hat on it? Or I guess the hat.
No. The hat you put on the hat.
But yeah. It again. I think the last major, assassinations we had of politicians were Robert F. Kennedy, Harvey Milk. We're going back to late 60s, early 70s.
I mean, I kind of feel like a lot of the Black Panthers were assassinations, but they just were, the cops killing civilians, political leaders.
Those weren't elected politicians, though.
I mean, not elected by you, but elected by the community. And don't forget,
I'm not going to argue that. I'm just saying,
right. And then the assassination of Malcolm X. All of them.
That's 64.
Yeah. So
I'm talking about I'm trying to paint the picture of how long it's been since we've experienced something like this.
Yeah.
Not one politician, but going after multiple.
Yeah.
Shooting multiple. Like this is where we're headed. And by the way, if you guys really should listen to the show. It's good. As we said a while ago, we called this.
Yeah.
That this is exactly what was going to happen because Donald Trump has emboldened these people by issuing pardons to anybody that does his bidding.
Yeah. I really wish I miss the days when it was white Republicans trying to shoot Donnie. Just gonna say it.
And why do you think it is that we stopped hearing about that person? Is it because they were a Trump supporting Republican?
And maybe this is why they were in such a rush, like Democrat. It was a Democrat. It's like, no, this is your thing. This is your thing.
And the funny thing, they're like, well, Tim Walz appointed him. And I'm like, you guys really don't understand how this shit works, do you? Like, he didn't know him personally. He just signed.
Just like how some Democrats.
Some people shouldn't be able to vote. They just shouldn't fucking be able to vote, okay?
Or procreate.
Yeah, stop it before it even fucking
Usually
starts.
They're the same kind of person.
Just delete it.
Oh God, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's really ridiculous.
Oh my God.
But this is them. This is where the Republican Party, this cult, is really great at messaging. And Democrats have to get in front of all of it and just say what it is. Say it exactly what it is. Don't try to skate anything. Just say what it is.
Say it.
This is clearly the brand of Republicans, white, mediocre men who are taking out their frustrations in any way, shape, or form. And some of them are now attempting to assassinate people.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, I'm just wondering, Republicans, are you guys ever planning on censuring Mike Lee? No? Why is it that you demand Democrats be censured for things like speaking up during committees or votes?
Yeah.
Like Congressman Green.
It's really gross. It's really gross to see how they handle their own. And this is the part where they would be crying, little bitches, crying.
Clutching their pearls.
If this was on the other shoe. They would be, how dare you say that? Complete bullshit,
Yep.
All of them turn into Lindsey Grahams. All of them. All of them. And I can't with any of them. But enough with them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. What are we looking at, man?
The last topic I have for us tonight is heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah, I know that on this show we try to stay away from Middle East politics as much as we can.
Yeah.
As you see me say a lot online, I'm much more concerned right now with what we have going on at home. But unfortunately, we're being put in a position where we can't ignore what's happening either. Yeah. So let's get into the Middle East conflicts and escalations. Where are you at with what's happening right now?
The whole front, and it's interesting because I'm always called a Zionist. I'll take it. Sure, I think Israel should exist, right? Where that stops, where people try to hijack and control the narrative of it, I am for the people who are innocent. And I want to start in a place where it's like, you're looking at people who live in kibbutz, who live farming, who live on the outskirts of the Palestine borderline, farming land just there, and living peacefully, working together, driving people to hospitals, literally building community, trying to work with each other, trying to build a better future as one people. And you see the people who are in office, like Netanyahu, who is a criminal himself and he's trying to stay out of jail, like Trump, who is literally a criminal and trying to stay out of jail, like you have for the Islamic Republic, where I don't know if anybody in this community that we are building knows what Iran looked like back in the 1970s, before the revolution by the Islamic Republic. The culture was beautiful. They had the discos. They had this beautiful look to. I don't know, Ryan, if you know anything about it.
Yeah. No. Women had their hair out, jeans,
everything
shirts.
Out. They were so ahead of their time, and you look at this and you really think to yourself, like, and highly educated. They were so forward thinking, and you look at, like, this is where algebra came from, right? This is the world. This is what was shaping culture, everything. And then the Islamic Republic came in, and then it suppressed everything. It started assassinating people left and right. It started putting women in all the burqas. They started really hammering down. The young lady was killed in 2023 because she had her hair down. Yeah. They have the morale police that come around. They just literally club you, put you in the van, take you in, whatever. Homegirl did not make it.
Sounds familiar.
It's so wild to think about the parallels. And I'm not saying any of this to say that we need to attack anybody.
No.
But I am saying that the most innocent people are dying in all of this. And so if that's October 7th, you're looking at people who were on the farms, the peace lovers, the ones who wanted to work with the Palestinians. They were slaughtered. They were raped. They were murdered. They were slaughtered. Their bodies were taken back to some tunnels in Gaza. When Hamas took over Gaza in 2007. They used all that money to build infrastructure, a war machine weapon, because they are a proxy of Iran. And when you look at the proxy, the Houthis, you look at Hezbollah in Lebanon, you look at Gaza's Hamas, you look at these three organizations, three militias who have been attacking Israel with the orders coming from Iran. I'm sitting here taking all this in like this has been a proxy war since the beginning. Qatar's the money, Iran's the money. We're seeing all this stuff unfold. We have all of it in front, daylight. You can all see it. You just have to look it up. And then you look at what happened on October 7th. No, it didn't start there. None of this started there. They've been doing this for thousands of years. Are they going to do this for another 1,000 years? Probably. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And it's not for me to now step in and be like, this conflict is Cain and Abel. I'm sorry, it is.
And how old is our country?
248. It's not even 250 yet. Do the math.
One might argue that we have quite the ego to think that we can solve this problem.
An ego. We really do. And we're talking really, Taco is talking tough right now. And the reason why I say Taco is talking tough.
Pussy. Sorry, dickless coward. That's what I meant.
A pussy is a lot tougher.
Pussy is so coward. Yes, and yeah.
Yes, it is.
Thank you to all the women who have
thank you to all you pussies.
Straightened me out on that. Don't no.
Pussy is tough. So
one goes, do you not like pussy? And I was like, no, I love pussy. And they're like, well, then stop calling Trump that. And I was like, well, when you put it like that, yeah, when you put it like that. On my bib. And then I would put
yes, ma'am.
See you soon, honey.
And so the thing where I'm really triggered by and I'm trying to figure out is, and I understand the left, you know, this is really tragic to see. Women and children dying, people dying. The urban war is horrible. Is it immediately put us in the conversation of this is genocide? Is that America? Is it considered genocide? What we did in Iraq, you know, and you and I have talked about this numerous times. The amount that has been thrusted into that conversation. Women who have had bombs strapped onto them and they've walked in and just blown everybody up. Like, are they considered a soldier or are they considered a civilian? How do you measure all this? The misinformation that has flooded social media. And you and I have talked about this. How do we differentiate what is really happening versus what they want us to understand? How do you have pagers that are ready to explode, but you can't watch your borderline from some Jeeps and tractors plow through and then literally do what they did on October 7th? And you had bad intel, i.e. you allowed it. And I sit here and I really am processing all this from afar, as you and I are. Iran and Israel went at it last year. Why does nobody remember this? The very first attack that Iran ever did as a direct massive attack was last year, April 2024. Who was president? Biden. Joe fucking Biden. And what did he do? He didn't tweet about the shit. He didn't make any threats to anybody. He had a call to action. He literally brought nations together. UK, France, Britain, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. Muslim countries were protecting Israel from this massive attack. Do you know how many casualties happened last year? One girl died in Israel. The Iron Dome and the entire fleet that Biden built literally stopped and intercepted everything in the sky. Sleepy fucking Joe.
And by the way, you remember Trump was literally campaigning on he wouldn't do that. And he wouldn't send them resources like that. America First, I believe, was there. Trump
said that he would not be in any wars. Trump campaigned on everything.
He said he'd end them within 24 hours.
24 hours, and here we are now, 6-7 months later, and he's escalating every single situation. Is it only 5 months?
5 months.
Look on your face. 5 months.
Because it's January 20th.
It'll be 6 months. The 20th.
No. February, March,
Oh,
April,
I'm
May,
thinking, I'm
June
doing
20th.
funny math. My son was born in November, and that's what I'm counting right now.
Yeah.
Not
Dyslexic
January
with numbers
20th.
too.
No, not even close. Oh God. All right. Months. Getting my months
I only
now.
made that joke because you said dyslexic earlier.
Yes. And I believe me, everybody who's dyslexic is gonna hate you. Everybody send him a
My
backwards letter.
wife's dyslexic, so she's probably gonna slap the shit out of me when we get off.
Well, I'm gonna say she's gonna write you an angry letter backwards and upside down.
And you know what the funny thing is? She reads more than anybody I know.
Because we all do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But she doesn't read for pleasure. That's the thing. She hate reads. We all do it.
No, she doesn't hate read. She reads for pleasure.
Books?
And sometimes I get pleasure after she reads for pleasure.
Live on air.
Any man that has a smut wife understands. They read those books that have all the details, and then they get done with a few good chapters, and then they come in the office and they say, "What are you doing? You got 30 minutes?" Sure fucking do. That's how it starts.
This was
Sometimes
great
it's a book.
intermission from talking about the Middle East.
Israel. Yeah, we really took a left turn there. Got to have some levity here. You know what I'm saying?
What are we fighting for?
So we can continue this.
There we go. So I'm asking because I feel like a lot of people have memories of a goldfish. Like this didn't happen a year ago, but
the propaganda has been very effective.
Oh my God.
I mean, let's call it what it is.
It is.
The propaganda,
and everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, it's coming from everywhere. Yes. But here's the part. Here's the really, and I'm not saying that the Democrats don't have some hypocrisy here either, but like with Trump and MAGA and what they're doing, it's so much hypocrisy from what they were saying just 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Like we've got video of Trump saying that anybody that starts a war with Iran is a failure as a president. They're weak.
Yeah.
Well, here you are supporting and basically saying that you're about to go bomb Iran.
Not even supporting. He is literally threatening Iran.
Yeah. What was it? Something surrender, absolute surrender, something like that. Unconditional surrender, I think is the word.
I swear to God, he's asking AI to write his shit. It's one of those things where it's like, make me sound tough. You know what I mean? Like, it's really a weird thing that he comes up with. Or maybe it's Stephen Miller.
Like, who thinks this dude's tough?
Nobody.
Donald Trump has never been tough.
My man literally is tripping upstairs now. Like he's done, man. He's done.
He's done. Always been a little.
I'm just saying he's one fall away and breaking his hip from being out. That's where he's at. I just call it what it is. He is a senior citizen. He is literally one fall away. He is a senior citizen. He is one fall away from being taken out.
At least somebody co-signed what I said. Thank you, Laura.
Hey, Laura, does your sister come into your room and ask you what you're doing for the next 30 minutes?
Hey, no. Why you got to go there? This is my wife that does that. It's my wife that does that.
I'm just making sure we're all on the same page here. That's all.
So here's my issue is Donald Trump doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No.
Pete Hegseth doesn't know what he's doing.
And there's a lot of mediocre white men in this position of making decisions right now. And
that should not be making decisions.
At all.
You know, and again,
are not qualified.
Take out the fact that Pete Hegseth is a known alcoholic. Take out the fact that he has been a security threat multiple times.
Yeah.
Releasing information that he shouldn't. He is not doing a good job.
No.
He just isn't. Like, he can't answer a simple question. It's like, how are you making these decisions? Like, are you prime example, Donald Trump. They said something that Tulsi Gabbard said the complete opposite of what he did. And he literally looks at him and says, I don't care what Tulsi Gabbard says.
Right.
If you're not going to listen to the people that you've appointed to positions, why the fuck did you appoint them?
Then again, she's giving him Russian talking points, so he probably doesn't care what she says.
Well, I'll tell you what, for once, Tulsi Gabbard's actually not. And you know I don't like Tulsi Gabbard, and I think she's a Russian asset.
Yeah.
But for once, she's actually, she's literally going against Trump and saying no. And he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So it's like, even people that I thought were going to be yes people are starting to be like, no.
Well, they can't do this forever, man.
I wouldn't
when they're literally about to walk off a cliff together, they know They're going to start saying, I'm not doing this. And
like
that's
hand in hand, kumbaya. Yeah.
You're going to see them. You're going to see those like Tulsi.
You are starting to see some of them back off the cliff. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with this threat right here, because this is about to get real. This is a thing where you can't tweet your way out of this fucking war. You can't.
Well, and again, you're talking about this dude was supposed to end wars, whatever. Okay, great. Let's talk about the realities here. He's about to commit troops to Iran.
Yeah.
That's what all this is leading to. He's already moved 2 aircraft carriers into the region, with one of them being the USS Gerald R. Ford, which is, it's either our newest or like second to newest aircraft carrier that's been commissioned. I'm not sure if the Kennedy has been commissioned yet.
That's right.
But they're moving some of our most advanced aircrafts, weaponry, aircraft carriers into the region. They're preparing for something. Now, he could just be, posturing. That I think that's a best case scenario for us. Mm-hmm. But 8 times out of 10, when you start seeing the military make moves like this, and you start seeing, the American government say, you guys should probably leave soon, that usually leads to us doing something stupid. And we're talking about, we just left Afghanistan, a 20-year war.
That's right.
Conflict that we got ourselves into. Like, are we really about to go back do the exact fucking same thing?
Both feet. Bibi Netanyahu has been talking about nuclear
for 30 years.
For literally since 2008, as in on American soil. CNN put this clips together of throughout the decades of him talking about this, and it's one of those things where I don't disagree that they are doing something, because Trump pulled us out of the nuclear agreement that Biden, that Obama set in motion, because they found a peaceful way to negotiate a way out of all of this. Now, mind you, that Obama was definitely known for a lot of kills with drone strikes. A lot, and for him to have a peace deal with Iran, for Trump to undo this and now to deal with these consequences, he creates his own problems.
Directly linked to that, yeah.
Directly linked to it. This wasn't something Biden did, and he's like, I'm going to change that. He's over here trying to have peace. No, you did this in your first term. It blows my mind. And the reason why I brought up that only one individual was a casualty in Israel when Iran attacked a year ago, it's 26 deaths as we speak and 500 injured. Now, 1 year later, same attack, and actually the attacks are getting less and less because their infantry is less and less. Their missiles are less and less. It's declining. There's a declining number. Trump's not protecting Israel. Trump has no relationship with Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, UK.
He has a relationship with Saudi Arabia.
They're not there building a coalition to protect Israel. Trump can't do what Biden. Trump cannot do what Biden did a year ago.
No, because nobody respects him.
That's my point. He's over here tweeting and doing all this bullshit, leaving the G7, where Biden put in the work. Early. All the conversations that we talked about.
Refusing to sign the...
You know what I mean? Biden, you guys could talk about him falling off a fucking bike. You could talk about his stutter. You could talk about all this bullshit with his old ass age. When he was in a room, he had the best people around him. And in the end, he was the president who said, do it.
Yep.
That's all that matters. I don't give a fuck if it was the person in the back, the intern, or whoever had the great idea. He was the sitting president, and he said, execute.
Yep.
Whatever that order was. Trump's stupid ass is literally drinking ketchup out of the bottle and sitting here trying to figure out what his favorite yes man is saying to him on Fox News in one of his fake ass briefings. And you're sitting there and you're like, what are you doing? Why are you tweeting? These empty threats don't do anything for anybody.
Yeah.
And you have the codes for our nukes? Cool.
I know. Cool. It's like, y'all are worried about Iran having nukes. Like, you realize Trump's got our codes, right?
Like, cool. And you just took all that money from Qatar. Okay, cool. Let's see how this works out. Let's see how all this works out. Just got that plane. Okay.
And Saudi Arabia is taking money from Saudi Arabia too.
Yes. And I'm sitting here, but I'm just like, how are you in bed with, but at the same time not protecting? And what, did they not give you any minerals? Because you're not even protecting Ukraine. So what kind of deals are we making here? Well, and all you're showing us is that Taco is not, he's not the man for the moment. He's not.
And you don't make deals with him because he doesn't follow through.
Yeah.
Oh, I got this mineral deal done. Okay, we're going to buy Ukraine.
That's right. That's right.
What? That's all right, because now Ukraine is going with Canada and all them, and they're starting their own coalition.
The golden boy at G7, man. He literally was standing in the spot that Trump was supposed to be. Did you see this?
Yep.
They put him right front and center. No suit. Still looking good. Posted up right there. Right there. Right where he belongs. And America is just looking a lot smaller in the world right now. And it just goes to show. He can't build relationships with other countries to de-escalate the situation the way that Biden did just a year ago.
Yep.
That's the part that I really want to hit home.
He's not better at anything.
He's not good at anything. He's a master of marketing. Yep. But even with his old age, that's slipping. He's only good as his gift of gab, and that's been gone for easily a decade.
Well, and the problem too is like when you have so much bullshit stacking up, so many lies stacking up, you can't come up with it right off the man. Yeah. And that's really what it is with him. He can't keep all the bullshit together.
But that's the thing that's brilliant about him is that he doesn't have to, and he never had to. He could say one thing over here, and he could say something over here, and then he's like, "Well, I just
Maggot's like,
yeah, just really so much so." But and it is one of those things that I'm just sitting here, and I really feel for the Iranian people. I mean, look, Israel's telling them get the fuck out of the way. I don't really see that happening the other way around. I don't see Iran's telling Israel, "Hey, we're attacking Tel Aviv right now." That's like attacking New York. There's no military base here. But social media would have it tell you, this is what it is. Here we are. Israel deserves it. And I'm just like, guys, they've been fighting this war for how long now? How long? 2023, October 8th, the day after their attack. They've been fighting 7 different fronts. Everybody thinks it's just Gaza. It's just this. It's just that. No, they've been fighting multiple fronts this entire time. Of course, and I talked to you about this, Ryan. I've been waiting for them to attack Iran. I've been waiting for them to do this. They did this tit for tat for the last year. And now they're like, we're ready to take you on. We've already now annihilated, which you asked me what my thoughts are. If they're going to do another land for peace deal, I don't know what the hell that looks like. But what I do know is that Trump has this whole other idea that I think completely just takes the chessboard and just flips it up. I really do, Ryan. Him talking about what he wants to do with it. I'm sitting here like, what minerals did they find out are there? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of conversation about minerals right now. Deals that they're trying to make with China. The whole thing that he's negotiated with China.
China's making deals with California so they can cut Trump out.
For the EV market, like they're like, hey, you need these raw minerals for EVs, and we'll do this for the next 60 days. That's it. It's just like the tax incentives for middle class. There's an expiration date.
Yeah, it's temporary.
It's very temp. And you're sitting here like there's no win.
It's not even 5-10 years. It's literally like 48 months.
We made a deal with China. No, they said you made an agreement that you'll follow up in 6 months. That's what you made an agreement of.
Yeah.
We'll talk in 6 months. But right now you have minerals in 6 months. And on top of that, you put us right back where we started. That's not a deal. That's not a deal. There's nobody walking away from
kicking the can down the road.
That's all it is. And I'm just like, if you didn't really look into it, you would think, oh, he's making deals. Okay. Because that's what their entire camp is about.
That's what he's always about. Make it sound better than it is. Yep. It's like he doesn't own buildings. building all these buildings
Doesn't.
that has his name on them. A lot of them are just they're
leasing his name,
and they're leasing his name.
Yeah,
it's a branding deal. He doesn't own shit. He didn't build shit.
He didn't build anything. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why those exist is because of the TV show at the time. Yeah. The moment he was turned into president. The moment he became president here in New York, they started ripping his name off the buildings. They did. I'm sure they paid him his money, but they ripped his name off the buildings. Contractually, they had to pay him his money, whatever the case was. And he was going to sue.
Yeah, well,
everybody. So,
yeah, man. I just want to say,
as a military guy, I want to know what you think about this, though.
I think we're getting in the middle of something that we don't need to be in the middle of.
Yeah.
I'm personally more worried about Russia if they're able to.
They're parked outside of us, aren't they, on the West Coast? Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't hear about that.
They are posting up off Alaska.
Well, there you go.
In range.
But that's kind of where my concern lies. I think if Russia is able to plow through Ukraine while everybody is like looking over here in Iran, I think that's actually going to be much more detrimental to world peace than what we're all focused on at the moment. In terms of, I just have to pivot back to, this has been going on far longer than our country has been around.
Yeah.
And I still feel ignorant to, all the causes of this conflict. We can look at the last 6 months, 12 months, 48 months, but, this really does go back so far. And a lot of us just don't have the knowledge to make sense of it. And the one thing I know for sure right now is that Donald Trump is escalating these situations. He is not interested in de-escalating. And I think the reasons that he doesn't want to de-escalate are very nefarious, and we should all be very focused on what comes next. And I also think that there is a part of this where he probably promised a lot of defense contractors money through contracts. And one of the best ways to make defense contractors rich is to start a war. So I do think that's part of it as well. I think it's unfortunate
right now, just FYI.
Okay. I think it's unfortunate that we're probably going to see troops on the ground, our troops on the ground here in the near future. And as always, and what we've always said on this show, I feel for all the innocent people on all sides. War is nasty. It affects everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have to live with the consequences and the end game that we're all going to witness. So, it's just that much more important for us to keep protesting, keep being loud, because as a reminder, we do have tools in this country to remove a lawless president.
Right.
That is literally getting us into wars right now. There's an impeachment for a reason. There's a 25th Amendment for a reason. Right. This dude's bending laws all over the place. If we got to bend a few laws to get this motherfucker out, let's do it. And really all it boils down to is, can we have a Senate where we have 3/4 majority, meaning can we count on the United States Senate to grow a pair of fucking balls and go out there and do what needs to be done and remove this prick from our White House before he destroys everything? Really is that simple. Call your fucking senators, tell them, and your Congress people, tell them to get this shit done. Stop fucking around. You guys should have impeached this prick after January 6th. We wouldn't be having this problem. Literally, if you really want to take it back to who do we have to blame for Trump 2.0, presidency 2.0, it is the fucking senators, Republican senators, that refused to impeach him the second time. That should have been the end of Donald Trump and this whole fucking experiment. Yeah. But no, No, you motherfuckers couldn't even do that because you were too concerned about winning your own goddamn elections back in your own districts to do the right thing and actually stand by the Constitution and your motherfucking oath and kick that motherfucker out and make sure that he couldn't be in office again. So again, why am I running for president? Because I've actually got the balls to do what the fuck needs to be done.
Oh my God, I got a slogan for you. I don't have a colon, but I do have the balls to get the job done.
And that is why you are not my campaign manager.
Damn it!
So, brother, what's your positive? What's your positive this week?
What I just said is my positive. May not have a colon, but I got the balls to do this job.
But I got the balls to get the job done.
Put it on a bumper sticker. Put it on a bumper sticker.
That's going to be a t-shirt.
That might be a t-shirt. I'd rock that.
Oh my God.
Right next to, what did you say about Homegirl? What'd you say?
Which one?
Whatever, the Rose Garden, whatever that is. No,
oh,
I think
God,
I
will have to go back and see. I can't remember now.
I have
and
to
I'll
say
fix the Rose Garden because fuck that bitch. I think that's what it was.
Bringing back the Rose Garden. Fuck that bitch. We got a couple of slogans. No, I think your Ryan Random was perfect. Ryan, I think it is. I just felt like we needed to have a quick laugh in that because
we got to, man.
This is serious, man. This is serious, and I think that
Very
we need
serious.
need to interject some humor.
That's what we do on this show.
Yes, it is. Try to make this digestible. But the thing also is that Russia is parked off of Alaska, and it's something that I text you, and it's one of those things where, it's just not. It's people are playing chess right now, and they're paying attention to see. And I think,
sorry, Jen texted me when we were talking about the books. Said, "Oh my God, shut up."
See you in 30. Hey, Jen. See you in 30.
Sorry, honey.
No, but
Russian,
it's
in June 20, Russian naval vessels and aircraft have been detected operating near Alaska's air defense identification zone, prompting response from the Coast Guard and NORAD. Well, oh boy.
That's this month.
They have aircraft encounters, surface vessel activity. Jesus Christ.
That's how serious this is.
Oh, she said, "Shut up, Ian." She needs to do it in the comment section. Jesus. So, like I said, me personally, from a military standpoint, I'm personally I'm more concerned with Putin, and the fact that Donald Trump was at the G7 summit, literally advocating to bring him back into the fold. G8. And make it the G8 again. Yeah, and it's dumb fuck, do you remember why he was kicked out in the first place?
Yeah.
Because he fucking invaded Crimea.
Yeah.
And it's he's like, well, I think he was easier to control. They couldn't control him when he was there the first time, you dumb motherfucker. What do you think has changed? Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. You think your fucking coward ass is going to do it? You 5-time draft dodger motherfucker. You can't do anything. This dude is such a piece of shit, and he can't do anything. He's literally helping Russians. He's got Tulsi Gabbard, I'm fucking 80% convinced that she's a Russian asset. I'm about 75% convinced that Melania is Donald's fucking handler, and I'm 100% convinced that if we don't get this motherfucker out of the White House, that we are all going to be fucked.
Yeah.
So what's your positive, bro?
There's a number of things to be positive. About. What is Jen telling me to shut up first live here on the show?
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
that's a positive. New music
she's
dropping.
Watching.
She's watching. My wife would never text us that. She ain't watching. So
yeah, but your mom supports us and sends us money. So
my mom texts me. She goes, "I'm in the other room watching." She's here. She's in Brooklyn. That's a positive.
There you go.
She's like, "I'm in the other room."
I was about to say, you better say that you're positive, or she's gonna slap shit out of you.
She's like, "Can you hear that I'm watching the show?" I go, "Just turn me down, because I'm an asshole. Just turn it down. Just turn it down. That's all I gotta say." So she's watching the show. So that's one of our views. No, but my positive is actually more so of a somber moment.
Uh-oh.
a great man died on Father's Day, and that great man happens to be Marshall Joseph Honore, and this is the cousin of Lieutenant General Honore, who was there during Katrina. This is that side of my family, and so Mr. Marshall Joseph Honore is the grandfather of my siblings, my half siblings, and he's a wonderful man. He was married, would have been 61 years this past Father's Day, and he passed away just yesterday at 6 o'clock. And I made the joke to his my brothers, and I said, when his wife was alive, I knew how cold of a woman she was, where she was like, get your ass in the house, and I said, she passed away a number of years ago. And so I said, on their anniversary, she told this man, it's time to get your ass up here in heaven. It's time to go. I've been doing this without you for long enough. And so I'm snatching your ass from there and I'm going to bring you to me. And so this beautiful man, wonderful, wonderful human being, has been through it all, served this country, was just a handyman, built his own house. I mean, this man's legacy is everything. Hails from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he died with his children surrounding him. And so I want to give a shout out to the Honore family for losing a great one. And my siblings, they ain't shit. They ain't gonna be this man. So I'm gonna take my shout out at them right now.
God damn.
No, it's an inside joke between one of my brothers. Yes. But he was a great man, absolutely great man. And I want to give a shout out to the family because we really lost a good one, but they gained a great one up there. So I just want to give a toast out to Mr. Honore and the family. But that's my positive. It's a full circle of life, and this man, mind you, he was 100, about to be 101.
Wow.
So when we say, like, it was his time, You've
seen it all,
and his goal was, let me make it to 100, and then God could do whatever he wants after that. That's what he said. That was a quote.
Think about that.
Let me get to 100 and
248 years, and he was around for 100 of it.
Yeah.
That's
as a black man.
Yeah.
As a Creole black man.
And sure he had some stories.
He had some stories. He definitely had some stories. And when I say that, they don't make him like him anymore. When this man could tell you, he built his house brick by brick.
Yep.
And you think about that, and you think about the fact that he lives in Cancer. What do they call it? Cancer Valley. That's where all those plants are and everything, all those chemicals in Louisiana, and a lot of it predominantly is the environmental racism
that Trump is deregulating.
That's correct. When you think about environmental racism, how it was implemented and placed strategically in poor neighborhoods, black neighborhoods,
their communities.
It's those are the ones who didn't advocate. Those are the ones who didn't have representation. And then that was grandfathered in down the line, redlining, all these things. This man seen it all, like you said. And he died with his belly full, with his heart filled with love, and he would light up a room the way he would talk about anything. And he told a story about a squirrel who was on a crossing a train track, and he stopped for a moment, and as he stopped, his tail was still over the railing, and a train goes by and it cut off a piece of the tail, and the squirrel turned around to retrieve the tail, and another train went by and cut off his head. And the advice from all that is, don't lose your head off a piece of tail.
That sounds like something my dad would have said.
You know what I'm saying? That's who Mr. Honore was, man. Don't lose your head over some small
brother.
shit.
That's good advice,
you know what I'm
brother.
Saying? Don't lose your head over some small shit. So I got to give a shout out to Mr. Honore.
May he rest in power, man.
You know what I mean? Rest in power, King. And a shout out to the family, because I know they definitely are going through the motions, but it's a beautiful thing. When you make it to 100, let me tell you, you win the game of life.
Oh, for sure.
You win the game of life. And so I want to just give a big shout out to everybody in the fam. So
that's awesome.
That's my positive.
Yeah. Robert F. Kennedy's trying to cut down on a lot of things. Yeah. Like, you know, he's trying to make people like me, like I take SSRIs for my bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And they saved my life. Like quetiapine saved my life. You know, these drugs that I take every day, like religiously, like I'm terrified not to take them because I remember, I mean, honestly, it's so far since I've had them that bad that I don't remember them as well anymore, but I do remember the manic episodes and how bad they were before I was medicated. And it's like, I don't want to go back to that. Like, I like who I am. I like being able to do a Ryan rant and be able to instantly come down and be fine. Like before, you know, bipolar people, it's like all it takes is something to spin you up. Even if you're just doing it for a show, it could still spin you up and you can't come back down. And that's kind of what being bipolar, that's part of what being bipolar is. So just being able to control everything and be able to get spun up and then instantly be like, you know, what's your positives? You know, like that's the medication. It really is. And I wish more people understood that instead of listening to people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who, you know, was a 14-year intravenous heroin addict and, you know, had a brain worm that starved long ago from having nothing left to eat. But yeah.
I love when you say that. It's just my favorite. Just rolls off the tongue.
But it's dangerous. It's very dangerous because it makes people think that going to get help is bad. Yeah. That medications are bad. Let me tell you, man. And don't get me wrong. Yeah, they're cutting off hotlines they got rid of the LGBTQ division of the 988 hotline.
The suicide line. Yes.
But it's like, I just want to tell everyone my path to finding the right medication was not a straight line.
Right.
And it very, very rarely is. And what I mean by that is it's very rare that you're going to find the right combo of medications the first go around.
Right.
And every once in a while you find one that really does a number on you. And for me, it was amitriptyline. Amitriptyline made me fucking suicidal within a matter of days. And it was actually my wife who, on like day 3, I was literally in our bed, like hugging my knees and rocking like this, crying. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. And she's the one that came in and she goes, "Didn't the doctor put you on something different the other day?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she went over to where I had all the bottles and she grabbed it and she's like, "Don't take this anymore." And within 2 days, I was back to, you know, where I was before I started taking it. Right. It was that fast.
Right.
And so trust me, I understand that sometimes you may have a bad experience. Don't let that stop you from trying to find something else. You know, like just understand that when you're introducing new medications, you do need to be on the lookout for, you know, maybe your thoughts are going places that aren't normal for you. Okay. Yeah. Stop taking the meds. Go talk to your doctor. You know, or you're having really bad anxiety that's even worse than before. Stop taking the meds. Go talk to your doctor. Right. You know, whatever it is, just go talk to your doctor. Find something else, because I can't imagine my life without having found the medications that I'm on.
That's right.
And as much as it took me a couple years to get to the point where I was comfortable with understanding that I was going to have to take these medications the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And I was probably going to have to adjust them along that adventure. Yeah. And I've already had to once. So that's what I really, don't listen to people that don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to hypocrites. Don't listen to people that are just trying to do things to get a political clout. medications help people.
Yeah.
Now, some of them may not be right for you, but that doesn't mean that there aren't some that are. So if you're somebody like me who knew that things were off and that you weren't the person that you can be and that you want help, go find it. Fuck people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Because you want to know what I've found out over the years is that people like that, they don't give a shit if you live or die. They're going to put their thoughts and prayers, and they're going to tweet it out, and then they're never going to think about you again. So at the end of the day, I'd rather you be here in my comment sections and a part of our community than not be here. So fuck those people.
You know what's wild is I look at your your JFK poster, art behind you.
Yeah.
And I think about that it's like, you look at someone that great that's there. And then you're like, and then this dumb fuck comes just a generation behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I say that my siblings ain't gonna be shit compared to that grandfather. So that's why I'm saying that.
Oh man.
I'm taking shots fired at my siblings. Shots are fired. I just want to start some smoke. No, man. Reality, looking at JFK, you're like this great man who really stood for the people. You could tell they stood for the people. And then, you look at this piece of shit that came, who's a Nepo kid who has his own trauma.
Yep. And not
That's
even just mental health. Look at what they did to transgender youth today.
Yeah.
Through the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Like, these people don't care. They don't care if your transgender kid, dies. They don't care. They don't care.
No.
So stop expecting them to.
No.
And all right. So my positive is, honestly, it's just the summer. Like, Are
you in full effect? You're in full effect, full summer?
I'm still trying to work, a little bit, but we've been definitely doing pool. Like, we've been doing the pool like every other day.
Oh, I love that.
The kids are doing like piano still through the summer, that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, just getting to enjoy not having to get up and do the daily grind with them, and instead just be able to, like, I think Dominic wants to go play Xbox after this. So, it's probably what we'll be doing. So just that kind of stuff, not having to go to bed at 8, 9 o'clock and,
it feels like the movie Sandlot.
Yeah, man.
It feels like it.
I'm definitely enjoying the time and realizing, especially with running a campaign and everything, that the coming years I'm not going to be able to spend as much time as I am right now with them. Yeah. And so I'm definitely enjoying it and sucking it up and trying to take time off through the week to spend it with them instead, because I can't get these summers back. Right. I really only have a few more left with them, and then they're not going to care about hanging out with Dad no more. So,
man. Well, they will if you're taking down flags and fuck this Trump administration in the White House.
Yeah, well,
so, we'll see.
Yeah, they'll be part of the first family. That'll be a little different, but right?
Be a good look. I just wonder what Jen will be asking you for 30 minutes in the White House. See you in the Lincoln Room.
And with that, we will see you next week. We have a guest next week.
Yes.
So make sure you tune in. We're going to be talking about paid protesters. So you don't want to miss.
I've been waiting for this episode.
Yeah, me too. So it's going to be a great episode. Make sure you guys tune in next week, but make sure you also go check out last week's episode. We had Election Truth Alliance on, Dave, who we really like here on the show.
Love.
He came and gave us some more great information and helped us break down what was going on in New York with that case, some new information in Arizona, and he actually just texted us with some more information. So I'm having a feeling we're going to be bringing him back on here again soon.
Yeah. We've seen you, Dave.
Because at the end of the day, he's bringing the data, man. This election.
Yeah, that episode is wild.
It is. You guys really need to go watch that.
Pay attention, guys. It's there. Yep. The math is mathing.
And thanks again to Dave for coming on the show. He's amazing every time he comes on. Always comes prepared to educate us, which I appreciate. But with that, and a hi to Mom, who is there watching the show in the other room.
Yeah, Ma Dukes is here.
I meant to tell you something when you guys FaceTime me when she got there. I hope your mom's proud of you. I know she is, but I hope she knows how much you're doing behind the scenes too to build everything we're doing. So I'm proud of you. So she should be too.
Man. Thank you.
And I know you have some other big things coming. So can't wait to share that with everybody too.
Yeah.
And but yeah, man, look, guys, stay engaged, stay protesting, stay peaceful. They hate it. They hate it when we show up and we don't destroy shit. Like they fucking hate it.
Stay woke. Stay woke.
Stay woke.
These motherfuckers are trying to take that now. That slogan. Stay woke. Yep. Do not let them take that. Take back the American flag. Bring it. Bring it. Upset them. Let them see the optics of the American flag there, front and center. I'm really a huge advocate for this. You know, what we fought for. Really bring it to the fight. Bring it to the. Do not run from it. Bring it to the fight.
And there's plenty of us out there, and I want. That's what I want to leave the show with tonight. Everybody, please understand, it doesn't take much. Go see the videos from the No Kings protest. 2,100 cities. Arguably the largest nationwide protest ever. Ever. If you are against what's happening right now, you are not alone. So don't hesitate to get out there in these streets, because we will be out there with you. You know, my mayor was out there with us. People are pissed. And that's okay. So let's use that. Let's use that energy. Let's keep fighting. As always, much love. But most importantly, you guys stay safe out there.